Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast. Oh, that's the other show that I do this with. It feels like I should do it for this show. Let me tell you why. Normally, Kevin does the intro, and I hang in the balance with some sort of one-liner, waiting for him to do the joke before he gets to me. But Kevin is not here. Kevin is on a little mini vacation before he has Kevina or Kevin Jr. I'm not really sure if they've settled that as a name yet, but we're waiting with bated breath. Nonetheless, Rafa Esparza here with you today. We're going to go over the results of Over Under Kevin, and it feels like almost like an ambush to do it without Kevin, which is why we're doing it. So today, we welcome back to the show the person who was interviewing one Nate Diaz last week. May get the opportunity to do it again here tonight. We're not sure. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of the Shoot podcast, one Gian Carlo, a.k.a. the one and only G-Baby. G-Baby, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great. Thank you for that introduction.
You're welcome. I realized we didn't really get into the backstory of where does one get the nickname G-Baby? Because maybe your listeners just go, oh, I don't need that backstory. But where does that name come from?
To tell you the truth, it was from, I don't know if you ever watched this YouTube channel called Masthetics.
Mm-mm.
So one of the I guess co-hosts of that YouTube channel, Simon, he trains with us at 10 Planet, and for some reason he was just like, "All right, G baby," and I was just like, "Oh, okay." And then Nate was like, "That's it, that's your nickname," and I was like, "God damn it, I didn't really want that as a nickname because of my size," but I was like, "Oh well, I'll take it," and it just stuck with me.
But you're the person that in passing has told me, it's cool, just bill me as G-Baby. So you have owned it. You have taken a liking to it. It's just this information is shocking to me because I thought that there would be a story in which you said, oh, they said it. I heard it. I knew that was the one. But instead I'm hearing, shit. Yeah, I
I mean,
guess
that's
so.
what it is. I feel like any nickname with baby, no one really likes it at first, and then they're just like, oh well. And like even Brandon Moreno hated that nickname, Assassin Baby.
Well, he's cashing in pretty nicely on it right now, so I
For
don't think he
real.
has any complaints. We're going to get to talking about it. You know what? Screw it. Let's start with him because we should be talking about Izzy's dismantling of Marvin Vettori, but that almost seems anticlimactic given the fact that we had Assassin Baby taking home a championship
Right?
in amazing fashion, which, by the way, the Wikipedia page that I'm looking at right now does not have him listed as parenthetical C, which is for champ, but
Oh
I
wow.
digress. I know it's a little weird, but I digress. Very, very cool thing. So tell me, what was your interpretation of seeing that man win? Obviously, everybody was looking at it on the next day, or they saw those posts that were going up and saying, listen, this was a dude who was last picked, who was also kicked out of the UFC for not performing up to their standards, fought his way
hmm
back, and now is champion. What was your first reaction when you saw that he won?
I got really emotional actually because I've been watching him since The Ultimate Fighter, and I was really like I really liked him on the show. He was really funny, and just for him being a Spanish speaker and Latino, I really like grew close to like watching him perform, and whenever he's like fighting, I'm like I had to watch it. Uh, and I don't know, it gave me the same like Eddie Guerrero winning the WWE title in against Brock Lesnar. It has that same feel to it, and everyone was just cheering. Everyone was loud. I mean, of course, Brandon didn't cheat to win it, but he won it, you know?
He did not lie, cheat, or steal, which was very disappointing to a number of very, very prominent Hispanic people. I would tell you this, though. I don't know that you get to celebrate him. I think he's ours. Okay? Like,
I'm
I
just
don't.
happy for you guys.
Thank you. That's all I really wanted to hear, if I'm really being honest. Because, listen, dude, it's not like I saw Jennifer Lopez at the Super Bowl with Shakira and said, yep, that one's us. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, the Puerto Ricans got us on this one. So spicy. God damn it. What I would tell
For
you
real.
is seeing him accomplish that, I felt in my heart like so much happiness for him because there was a moment where he submits the champion
Yep.
And then he's just kind of in a daze. Maybe about 2-3 minutes pass. And then uncontrollable emotion. Almost as if he didn't actually process what had happened to him. Now, this is weird because, when you knock somebody out or you submit them and they tap, you kind of know you won. So this was alarming to see him go, oh my God. Like the look on his face was priceless. And I think that more than anything did me in because I said, damn, dude, this is a dude who did know that he won. And yet it still felt surreal even when it happened. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I felt like that. I felt his emotional roller coaster because, like, I don't know, something about his energy makes you just drawn to it and make you feel what he feels. Like, when he was, like, crying, I was like, damn. You just can't help but be happy for the guy.
I also am a huge fan of bringing in the kids with headphones on. So those noise canceling headphones and the kid looking around because when they see that in 20 years, they're going to go, oh shit, what the fuck was I doing in there? And it's like, well, the whole family's got to be in it. We got to get a photo. Come on. I'll tell you this much, though. I think the day before I put up a post and I said, I kind of want to see Mexican McLovin win. I'll explain that. First off, I saw Figgy Smalls push Moreno, and I thought, why would you do that? Like, the hype is there. The hype is already, we saw your last fight. We know it's going to be fire. Did you get a sense from that moment on that maybe Figgy Smalls was a little nervous?
Oh, for sure. And you saw Brandon so calm about it, which was scarier.
I think it was a credit to whoever made that meme. I don't know who it is, but it's just smiling and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Figueredo pushes him like uncontrollable rage to go take advantage of him. So I'll tell you this much. I saw a number of different reactions. I got a number of people who chimed in because I put up something and I said, listen, I was in the process of doing an edit for a video while I was watching the fights. We filmed something that I'm very excited about, but it was getting late and I was like, fuck, dude, I'm kind of tired. Maybe I'll just watch the fights. I saw him win and I go, I'm pretty confident in Izzy's ability to take Vettori, but I'm so motivated to keep editing this thing, even though I want to take the night off. It just felt like a great moment to anybody who has that kind of drive, that perseverance, and watching him speak afterwards. I think most people in New Mexico didn't speak Spanish, but if they didn't by the end of that speech, they probably learned a little bit of right then and there. What do you think happens next for him?
So, next up, I think that's tough because I gotta look at the rankings, but I know him and Joseph Benavidez are close, so I don't think he'll fight him. He kind of looks at him like a coach figure because it was his coach in The Ultimate Fighter. Maybe against Askarov.
Okay.
That or a rematch between him and Davis and Figueiredo.
I mean, Davison's probably thinking that. And I have to say, it was really nice to see Davison pick him up and definitely carrying him around a little bit. What does seem odd to me, though, is I try to put myself in the fighter shoes every once in a while when somebody does try and pick you up.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this much. After I've fought you, you don't need to pick me up.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I respect you. Thank you for the offer. I got to find the polite way of declining it and saying, no thanks. We're good, man. You know what? How about we go get a beer afterwards? Which BT dubs did happen. And not only did it happen, but it happened in the most epic of ways where all I could think about was, holy shit, you can break a dude's arm and yet still hit him at the after party. And that was, I swear to God, I'm not kidding you. I legitimately thought after Paul Craig was a massive beast and Jamal Hill, you thought to yourself, oh my God, his arm's never going to be the same. This dude's, his hands flopping in the middle of a triangle. It looked like he could have been tapping out, but was just in a comedic situation where he goes, I'm tapping, but it
Yeah.
looks like my arm's wobbling because it's broken.
Ugh.
And then we come to find out he's okay. Not only just okay, but hanging out and drinking with one Paul Craig. So I thought that was the kind of wholesome material that we thought.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
So let's talk about that for a second. Was there vomit in the mouth when you saw that triangle?
Oh, dude, I had to like, you know, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Pimple Popper, and I couldn't stomach that.
Can you tell me what the real appeal of that show is? Because my wife watches it, and I look at her and I think, this is the trash TV I will not join you with.
It's funny because I'm like, man, I hate this show, and I keep watching it, and I'm like, this is so disgusting, and I'm still staring at it, and I'm like, how are they doing this? What type of hypnosis are they like practicing for me to stay glued to this TV? Because I hate everything about this, but love it. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Understood. Okay. I've been kind of wondering what the appeal is. And sometimes I see the episode and I just look at her and I go, don't, no, let's never be that person. Okay. Let's reverse things a little bit. We're going to go back in the order. We'll go up to the top of the card. Israel Adesanya. What is he seeing that the rest of the people in his division cannot see and cannot put up a good fight against? Like, what is the missing element that they don't have that he does?
I don't know. I think it's just a psychological warfare thing more than anything. I think I see this pattern too when it comes to like these champions that seem so unbeatable, like Anderson Silva, who was just a freak of nature of his time, George St. Pierre, just people that dominate their division. They have that psychological factor with them. And I always see Izzy so calm, and you see like his opponent's always so nervous.
I want to point this out because to me, I try to take things at face value.
Yeah.
So I know it's easy to get caught up in the drama. And don't get me wrong, it's fun to talk about it. But afterwards, Izzy and Marvin seemed to exchange some words. There was no love loss, stemming all the way from the press conference to putting on some pants backwards the night of your biggest fight, which is the saddest thing I think I've ever seen in the UFC. Because you talk about a fact that Vettori was looking at Izzy during the press conference and going, I'm so in his head, he doesn't even know it. Then shows up with his goddamn pants backwards. And you think, oh no, this is not going to go well for you, right? Like, you're not in the frame of mind to beat the style bender. So when I did look at that, I was a little nervous for Marvin, and it was a respectable effort. But at the very end, when Izzy says, yeah, he was telling me he thought he won still.
Yeah.
I took that with a little grain of salt, and I thought about it, and I go, okay, this is kind of weird, but I'll live with it. And then all of a sudden you see like Vettori afterwards being like, I mean, yeah, I did think I'd win. And I go, okay, I'll give you a little bit more slack because maybe you shouldn't be saying the most quotable things after you fought and you're exhausted. I'll give you a day. Does an interview where he goes, I mean, I didn't win, but I also don't think I was the recipient of 50-45s. And there's still a large part of me that goes, oh, man, I wish I could sit down and watch this fight with you just to have you explain it to me. Because maybe I'm not getting it. Maybe I didn't understand the methods behind your fence pushing and where the offense was on that. But to Izzy's credit, he did have some defense for that. And I thought that was an impressive thing. So it is hard to take that into consideration when Vettori looked, all things considered, all due respect, maybe a little one-dimensional against Izzy. But who isn't?
It is funny, dude. I feel like Marvin Tori's the type of guy that you have to talk him into, like, no, dude, she's not into you. Just get over it, bro.
That guy.
She's not looking at you. She's actually looking at the bathroom, checking where it's at.
That guy remarkably real and remarkably accurate. And the more I think about it, it's definitely the dude who's just sitting at the bar And you're just like, bro, I hate to tell you, man, you're not going home with her. So, okay. I had people asking me, what the fuck are we going to do with Izzy? And that night, I don't know if you saw any part of the post pressers, but if you didn't, allow me a quick opportunity to tell you what they're thinking. Dana White said they are looking and expressing the idea of Bobby Knuckles Izzy 3.
Wait, they fought for 2 times? I thought they only fought once.
Maybe they only fought once. Maybe. Hold on.
Yeah.
I know that they talked about it so many times. No, they were talking about a Bobby Knuckles fight against him again. And all I could think about was, bro, we're good here. Because to me, Israel Adesanya is just, he's in a good place with the division. But as you mentioned, it is nice to have him going up against, like, you know, people in a way that you would see Anderson Silva beat up people. And you go, we kind of need this guy right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I'm going to ask you a leading question, and then I'm going to tell you the method behind this. But if you were to drive inspiration from anything, what would you say is the weirdest place you have ever drawn inspiration from? So, like, when you say you're wanting to get better at jiu-jitsu, have you watched a YouTube video or have you read a book that has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, but that you get really hyped and say, man, I grew inspired by that for my jiu-jitsu game?
Is this book by this chef named Paul Liebrandt. He's like a three no, he's a two Michelin star chef and from England, but he has a restaurant in Brooklyn. And his I read his autobiography once and I was just like, man, I just need to keep on going. Who cares if I you know, don't make money off of it. It's the art that matters, and like the lifestyle will take me there. But it was really that book for sure.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because oddly that does make more sense than what I'm about to tell you. What I'm about to tell you is at the end of the press conference, which, by the way, was the batshittiest of press conferences I've seen in a little bit, and I'll tell you a few details why. But at the end of the whole wacky night of press conferences, Israel Adesanya said, you know, I draw inspiration from like a whole bunch of different places. And I mean, like, shit, man, I got inspired by watching Dolphins today. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to get out of here. And I go, wait, no, there should be a follow-up question to that. Who the fuck leaves on I get inspiration from Dolphins to go out here and fight? Because what you said, G-Baby, makes sense to me. Oh, from chefs who are good at their craft. Awesome. Motherfuckers out here defending, finding ways out of rear naked chokes, and then at the very end of it going, man, my counter game is pretty good. I'm just on another level striking. Anyway, Dolphins, same, right? Deuce.
I mean, he did sexually assault Marvin Vittori like a dolphin, so.
That's very true. When he did grab his ass, though, have you seen anybody play that kind of jiu-jitsu to try and get in your head?
Oh, Nate, all the time, 100%.
Did you talk to Nate about that? Because I feel like Nate, that is really up his alley. And
Yeah.
I don't know that Nate is going to be somebody who makes it out of the Me Too era without any kind of snags, but it does concern me with his jiu-jitsu that somebody is going to go ahead and come up and be like, I was assaulted by Nasty Nate Harris.
And they're all guys.
Yeah. And every one of them is like, how do you think he was getting the nickname Nasty? It was because he did the nasty to me.
I remember my first class with him. He's like, when in doubt, just oil check him, always. I'm like, okay, gotcha. I guess I know where I'm at now.
Sometimes Nate is exactly who you think he is. So
Yeah.
that is refreshing to hear. Let's discuss this, though. Last week, you had the opportunity to talk to a guy. I don't think you were prepared. I actually have to leave right now. Now, you're not in charge of Verbal Tap. You just kind of, you're keeping the car warm is really what it's called. Because
So I'm literally the host now. I'm the host of VerbalTapCast
let's be
now.
very clear, not the host. If people didn't listen to last week's episode where I reminded them that there was an audition process that is not happening here tonight, you are merely starting the car so that the parents can come and drive it at a time that they are a little more sober at the holiday party. So I'm giving you an opportunity. This is a web redemption moment to go ahead and interview friend of the show, one Nate Diaz. So what that's going to require of you is you have to intro him, bring him on, and then you have him for what I'm told could be 3 minutes. So
Wow, that's a long time.
it is actually not a long time. If you recall, when we interviewed one Carlos Condit, that was essentially 3/8 of the interview, which went by very quickly. So intro Nate, bring him on. Let's see what kind of mood he's in.
Gotcha. Oh well, all right then. Here is, uh, you know, Ultimate Fighter winner, Jiu-Jitsu wizard. It is 209's Stockton's Nate Diaz.
You call me a wizard for it, dog? What the shit? Dog,
How are you doing today, Nate?
I'm all right. I'm not a wizard.
You're not a wizard?
Nah, dog.
What are you then?
I'm definitely not, whatever that Harry Potter shit. I'm the opposite of that, man. Like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That's my shit. But like, nah, dog. That's it. I'm not that guy.
So you only like one movie of Harry Potter?
Yeah, fuck those other fucking movies. You know what happens? It's like, oh no, friendship. Oh, that's what's gonna kill Voldemort. Voldemort's a straight up bitch, dog. Like, no disrespect, but that guy don't have a nose. It's like, dog, how you gonna fight somebody with no nose? Oh wait, I do it all the time. Anyway, go on.
That kind of surprises me because like usually you're always representing your homies like Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez. Like you don't care about friendship?
Dog, I love friendship, but you know what? Not gonna kill like a supernatural supervillain? Friendship.
Yep, you're right. Anyways, how
Oh,
do
I
you feel
got
after your
fucking
fight?
magical powers. I'm gonna fucking kill you. You know what's gonna stop it? This friendship force field, you fucking bitch. You're so fucking lame. Anyway, what's your question?
So, how do you feel after your fight against Leon Edwards?
You know, the thing about that full fight is, I mean, obviously I won it, so the streets know that. But I let that little fucking bitch kind of like get away and like go and call himself the guy who technically won the fight.
Nate, I feel like if it was a 10-round fight, that fight was all yours.
From here on out, 7 rounds only, dog.
For sure, man. You're changing the game.
So I guess my question for me, since you're not asking it, is, Nate, what's next for you? Oh, well, interview guy. I think like I'm gonna smoke some weed, and I guess I'm gonna change the game. You know what's really fun though, G baby? You ever do this shit
What?
when you like should win a fight, but then you point at the guy, you're like, hey, you're a fucking bitch, and then you realize, oh shit, I should have won the fight.
All the time, man. That's how I lost my last grappling match.
It's not what I heard, but I would tell you, dog. It's kind of sad because everyone was starting to talk to me like I was fucking dead. Like at the press conference, Dana was looking at me and he's like, "What are we gonna do with Nate Diaz?" I don't fucking know. And I was like, "The fuck you don't mean you don't know?" Which really is just code for he don't want to pay me anymore.
I mean, dude, you cost a lot of money. I have stocks now, and like it's hard for me.
Oh, I see how it is. You went from being everybody should get fucking healthcare to fucking, you know what, Dana? Don't give out 3 bonuses.
I'm sorry, man. It is what it is,
And it's
man.
not what it is. You know what it is? It's not. It isn't. That's what it is. I want to tell you guys this. 3 things. First, I want to tell you the same thing that I told fucking Leon. Neon Edwards? Hold on.
Leon Edwards.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Neon. Neon Edwards. I told that bitch. I went up to her. I was like, yo, dog, wait till I win the fight. But I respect you. Get your fucking money, dog. If they tell you you ain't worth shit, you fucking yell at them. And then afterwards, you take a test, and then you piss in that cup, and then you say, fuck you, bitch, and then you throw it in their face. And you're like, take that. 2, I'm going to tell you this, G baby. If you want to fucking make it a knife, you only got to know one thing. Smoke weed every day.
Yay. For
and
real.
Number 3, fucking Mexican McLovin. Me and you. Super bad 3.
I ship this.
I'm just saying, think about it. I'd be in the fucking Jonah Hill role because I have, like, got that Jonah Hill energy. My brother Nick is going to be the Michael Cera because, he don't care. And then we get Mexican McLovin, Super Bad 3. Let's fucking do it.
Hell yeah, it takes place in Stockton.
What else is it going to take place in Idaho? Anyway, bitch, I'm out of this. Thank you so much. I gave you more than 3 minutes, and you're welcome.
Thank you, Nate.
Smoke weed every day. G baby.
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was way better than I thought it would be.
Were you able to get in a word edgewise with him?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What did you learn from him this time?
I learned how to talk to people because of Nate now,
I hope so. I hope that is the real big lesson that we pull away from one Nate Diaz. All right, let's go down the card. Bilal Muhammad beat Damian Maia. Depressing for jiu-jitsu, but it seemed like at the very end of the day, Nate Diaz was saying to the reporters, no, I wouldn't be interested in a fight with somebody like Damian Maia because I feel like we're on the same side, the jiu-jitsu side. To which Damian Maia heard that and goes, oh, I would be honored to fight you, Nate Diaz. If I've only got one fight left, it should be you. Your reaction.
Damn. I didn't even know that. I would love to watch that fight. I mean, it would be heartbreaking because I love both of them.
If you just think about it, though, the fact that Nate Diaz, who clowns everybody, has no love lost for anybody, says, please don't make me fight that guy. I really like him. Does not say that about a bunch of people. And yet, Damian Maia hears that and goes, what did he? Oh. No, I want to fight him. That's a good idea.
It's because Damian Maia is the real West Coast gangster.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, for real.
Damian Maia is really the one that gets thug life with some sunglasses and a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it is kind of a smart play by Damian Maia. All I could think of was, I took the Nate Diaz line on that one and I said, no, don't fight him. Don't play into this. We don't need this. And then I kind of started warming up to it. And then after I started warming up to it, I said, is that what's really going to happen now? Because as you mentioned, he costs a lot of money. I don't think Dana wants to pay that. So if anything, that seemed to be what Dana was signaling that night. All right, let me go ahead and bring up to you the batshit portion of the post presser. Okay? There were a few things, one of which was when Dana White was credited by a nut-hugging reporter for upholding the Constitution.
What?
Yeah, it was fucking weird, dude. I don't know what the fuck happened in it. And it was like, I wish I could explain this to you in a way that like makes more sense. But he said, like, the reporter goes, hey, Dana, you're coming off a pretty good year. How do you feel about being the like organization that upholds the Constitution in a world where it's getting way more like you can't speak your mind? Dana looks at him and goes, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Man, that's the great thing about this. You get people like Colby Covington who come in here and they say what they want. And then you also get people like Woodley with his Black Lives Matter bullshit. And then, we get some other people. So, it's nice to be leading at the front on the Constitution. And I go, what the fuck is this?
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, cut to Ariel Helwani going, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Are
Yeah.
we talking freedom of speech here? Okay, I just want to make sure. We're also talking about a number of banned people from
Hmm.
Journalism Row who just go,
Yep.
yeah, sounds cool.
Such bullshit.
But let me tell you the one that really got me, because we started this show talking a little bit about some Puerto Ricanness, which I understand, very important to you. You're about to go home very soon. Are you
Yep,
excited to be
next
home?
week.
Is this
Eh,
when's the last time you were home?
4 years ago.
So this is a huge homecoming then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen my mother in 4 years. I haven't seen Puerto Rico after the hurricane either, so it's probably going to
Mm.
be a different place, but I feel like I'm a different person, so I'm really excited to go back home and just spend those 8 days. And Nate Harris is actually coming with me and a training partner as well.
No, that's a bad
Yeah,
choice. Oh man.
I know.
I'm so
I'm gonna be
glad you
forced to
went
go
from
to some
being like,
strip clubs.
well, I did get sexually harassed by Nate. So I think it's a good idea to take him to another country. It seems like the only logical thing to do in another place.
For real. Yeah. I mean, it was funny the way it happened. We were just moving the gym to the new location,
Hmm.
and we were just having lunch, and I was like, "Hey, I got my tickets." And they were like, "Cool, we got our tickets too." I was like, "Well, I guess this is happening. I guess you guys are coming with me."
It's very much a sitcom. Well, I guess we're going to go meet the Flintstones. All
Yep.
right. See you guys in a few. I want to
For real.
point this out, though, okay?
Yeah.
At one point during the press conference, and I hope that people, if you are into your culture, totally cool. If you are not into your culture and you think it's bullshit, do what you want. One of the reporters started asking a question with the following phraseology. And I'm pretty sure that even through Dana, I think it was to Dana. If I'm wrong, please correct me, everybody. But he said, as a former Mexican, and even Dana goes, what? I'm like,
What?
so they were trying to point, because they then asked about that because everybody was trying to correct them and go, wait, but what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, like what the fuck does that even mean? So I
Oh my
ask
God.
you, if you started a sentence with as a former Puerto Rican, what would that mean to you? Like, what kind of thing would have to happen before you even said, thank you for asking, as a former Puerto Rican?
Man, I guess that just means like you disowned your culture, you disowned your I guess your identity. I mean, if Logan Paul represents Puerto Rico one more time, I probably have to do the same.
That's fair. Yeah, him and Gordon Ryan are really leading the culture there. Oh my God, are you going to go find the Danaher Death Squad?
Uh, we might be training with them, hopefully.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, some
hopefully.
authentic Puerto Rican training. Look at that. Good for you.
Thanks.
Let me bring this up, though.
Yeah.
I, hearing that phrase, could not help but think, what would it take for me to say, as a former Mexican? So I tried to play that. And you brought up a very good point, which is, oh, I've disowned my race. I've disowned my
Yeah.
culture. Something like along those
Yeah.
lines. Somebody pushed back on that and he goes, I think it was Dana, where he goes, well, what do you mean by that? And he goes, oh, no, no, no. I'm saying I used to be a Mexican, but I've become a citizen. Eh?
Okay.
Eh?
I think he's just watching out.
Well, okay, but even that is the worst save any human has ever heard in their entire
Yeah.
life. I'm being like, no, 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 no. I might have been born somewhere else, but I am formally for there. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what, dude? Don't be surprised if some current Mexicans go outside of your car and find you and help you find a way home. I guess
You
is a
know
nice way
what?
of saying
My girlfriend also has a dual citizenship,
it. Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to marry her, right?
Sure.
Just so when we go to Mexico City, I will be a Mexican citizen, so I can say Viva Mexico and actually like proudly so we can be cousins, Raf.
No, that's not how that works. I'm pretty sure.
Primo.
No, you will not be meeting me at the Mexican cookouts. Like, no.
Órale.
When you show up at the fucking gazebo, I'm going to be like, get out. Don't give that man a Modelo, the official drink of the UFC. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. I knew that I could bring this up with you. I can't really do the former Mexican talk for too long with Kevin, but I know with you I can spend at least a good 5 minutes on it.
Sure.
Okay, I'm really starting to think. If I really had to say as a former Mexican, I think it would have to be predicated in things like, I used to have a cabinet full of hot sauces, but as a former Mexican, I've given them up recently.
Really?
No. I mean, I'm thinking of the conditions. These are not current things. Please keep
I was like, are you okay?
my brown card on file status active.
It's like me, like I was a former, I am a former Puerto Rican because I don't put my pans and bowls in the oven anymore as storage.
That would concern me if you. That's true.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? It was one of those things where if you didn't see it, I encourage you to go watch it because it's very rare within one press conference you hear, I'm inspired by dolphins. A sometimes militant-esque organization that's almost a little bit of a dictatorship says, we're really keeping that whole free speech and constitution thing alive. Okay, cool. And then for funsies, one of the reporters themselves says, as a former Mexican, and you think to yourself, I know there are wackier things that are happening, but these 3 things are pretty good.
I'm so mad that I missed it. I need to watch it now.
I almost invite you to go do it. And I'm sure there's other shit that I didn't even pay attention to. Like, granted, I'm pretty sure that Izzy started his press conference eating some pizza, and so his mouth was full, and then it was kind of like, Trump, you do what Trump wants, kind of a thing. Which, hey, listen, dude, I'm not going to do that. And I even think that even Brandon Moreno was like charmingly as he could be, McLoving his way throughout the night. Although, you know what? That should have been the person who said it. If he'd won and then said, thank you for understanding me and recognizing me as a champion. I identify as a champion now. And as a former Mexican, like that to me, I think would have been the ultimate heel move
For
after
real.
everybody being like, yeah, we love that kid. Mexican, we love him forever. Okay. Let's go through a few of these highlights on the prelims and whatnot, because we just kind of need to burn through them. If you did not see Brad Rydell versus Drew Dober, do yourself a favor. Go watch that. Our friend Drew Dober put in a performance and had me nervous, elated, scared, happy, terrified, probably terrified again. But that was a good fight. I really did enjoy that one. And credit to Brad Rydell because, damn, that was a good fight.
Yeah, that was insane. I think we saw a package pile driver in the fight too.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. Every once in a while, I have to throw in a few of the references for pro wrestling moves, and Kevin just goes, "What now?" And I go, no, whatever. I also want to give some credit on over. Eric Anders picked up a decision win over Darren Stewart. Lauren Murphy, split decision win over Joanne Calderwood. I had a few people who were actually in the corner of Joanne Calderwood. So, they were like in that space of we're proud of her. We wish it would have gone a different way. Yeah, what are you going to do? No disrespect on any of those parts. There was a fun fight and credit to their coaches. Mosvar Ivalev and Hakeem Dawodu. Good fight-ish. Decision as well, 29-27. Let's talk about a couple things. Little heartbreaking seeing Chase Hooper fall short to Steven Peterson, but even that was pretty fun. And I was thinking when I saw that fight, man, he might have a good little fight here. Hopefully we'll see if fight of the night. No, it's definitely not going to stand. Drew Dober and Brad Rydell definitely deserve that.
For real. I mean, I like seeing Chase though grow as a fighter for sure. And
I do too. You know what I
like his craft.
don't love is when people who are friends of the show make weight and then their opponent does not.
Mm-hmm.
That one to me is always like, man, I'm just glad you get the money, but do those extra pounds pay off in the end? Like, is it almost worth it to give up 20% of your purse just to get that win and that momentum? Because now you think with Chase, like, oh, no, he lost 2 fights. It's over for him. Yikes.
Yeah.
Because MMA fans will do that sort of a thing. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Steven Peterson, credit to him, he did find a win. It was fairly dominant. But anyway, Terrence McKinney, though.
So he fought one of my first training partners from Puerto Rico the week before. He took this fight like a week's notice.
How do you get to do that?
Right?
We should also point out that I had to cancel that one from both you and Kevin's fight record for over under Kevin because it was listed as a different opponent. For one, Matt Favola, he was supposed to fight somebody else, and shit happens, accident. We hope he's going to be okay. Of course, for one, Frank Camacho. However, dude won in 7 seconds, a 7-second knockout. I'll ask this first. Your teammate was fighting him the week before. We recorded this before that was announced last week for the show. What was your reaction when you saw that, oh, wait, the guy who fought one of my teammates is fighting this weekend? What was your thought process on that?
At first, I was just like, damn, that's crazy. Because I think he was a little bit rocked from that fight, too, because my friend Michael hit him really hard. But he did win by a ground and pound, just knocked him out from his guard. And I was like, damn, that guy's like, they got to look out for him. And then just seeing him appear on the UFC so quickly, I was like, what? And then seeing that he won by knockout in 7 seconds, I was like, what? So I was really like, I'm really happy for the guy. He's going to make a killing in the lightweight division for sure.
I thought there was a lot of notation about the fact that this dude was he was in a car accident and shit like that?
No, so he got arrested because he took too many mushrooms and LSD.
That's the one.
And yep, and they had to like tase him, and he didn't even feel the tase because of how high he was, because he was just having a bad trip.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I got the Camacho story confused with him. But when they said that, yes, he essentially was told that he had died to making a UFC debut. That was the story. Sorry, sometimes the wires get crossed. A lot of MMA narratives. Either way, to come and win, pretty amazing. However, what happened afterwards?
After he got arrested?
No, after Terrence McKinney beat Matt Favola in 7 seconds.
Yeah,
I will fill you in because it's a fun story where you're like, oh, good for him. And I'm torn on this one.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. Because Terrence McKinney ended up injured.
Oh.
How did he get injured? Oh, by celebrating.
Really?
Yes. So
I didn't even see that part.
It was rough because he had previously in an LFA, won a 72-second win, and that's impressive. Okay, great. I'm kind of with that one. But he injured his knee in his celebration by jumping off of the fence. Now, there were some people who were like, oh man, he better get a fight bonus. He better get something. And he wasn't listed as one of the fight bonuses. However, we've been saying this for years. Y'all stress me out when you jump off the cage. And I say this as somebody, full disclosure, who does not do that. Okay? So it's not, there's a little bit of jealousy. Yes, I will admit that I wish I could. But I also try to caution those of you who can, not the time. I know you're thrill junkies, but the dude injured his leg where he could have been fighting probably in a very quick amount of time, again, in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of people who are throwing sympathy, and I go, can this be a discouragement? Can we finally reach that consensus? This is a bad choice.
Nope. No one's going to learn from that.
I hope so. Anyway, it was a very, very impressive moment. I was very, very happy to see him get a knockout. I thought that was pretty dope. And I think at the end they asked him in the press conference to Dana, what are we hearing for him? He wasn't listed as a fight bonus. And Dana goes, yeah, we're going to take care of him. Don't worry about that. Which, hey, listen, only makes me think maybe he's not getting a bonus. He's just going to get like a Venom care package.
Yeah. A free pass at the UFC Apex, even though he's already contracted with the UFC.
Complimentary towel service at the UFC Performance Institute. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
G-Baby, you watched the fights, but you also had to watch them with the stress of knowing you had put some wagers down with Kevin. So, were your nerves okay when you were watching the fight? How did you feel about your fight picks overall that night?
I feel really good about my fight picks.
Okay. Why do you feel that?
I feel like most of them I got right. I'm not sure.
But okay.
Okay. Did I lose?
We're going to get there. I just want to make sure when you say, oh, I'm pretty sure most of them are right. Like, this is what tells me how people took school. Where they're like, I got like half right. It's like half is failing.
Yeah, true. I mean, I was always a C+ student.
Well, okay. In that regard, you could be happy. So good on that. But what I am telling you is that you and Kevin had a close race. It was good.
Okay.
But what if I were to tell you? Bear in mind, could be problematic.
Okay.
That you won.
Really?
You did.
Yes.
This is a little hard because Kevin's not here. So I don't know if he's going to consider this a full loss, because if you don't show up for the announcement, did you ever really lose?
Damn, now I feel like the kid at the karate tournament who was just first place, but there was no one in his division.
Yes, except I think what ended up happening was you're the guy who won first, legitimately, and then the other person in the division doesn't show up for the photo, so it just looked like they gifted you the gold. Like, that's more of what happened in this situation. So what does Kevin have to do now?
He has to talk good about the shoot on the next episode on Verbal Tap.
Okay. I mean, yeah, no, I know. It's it's going to be a trying time. It's going to be something that I think we're going to have to get through. But if Kevin was listening, I don't know that he does listen to the ones he's not on. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I think he just kind of goes, how did it go? And I go, it's fine. Shut up and show up next week. Would you have any advice for him? And if so, what would that advice be?
You're not going to win it all.
Okay.
And if you're against me, you're never going to win.
Wow.
And yeah, Kevin, I'll see you next time for sure.
Where was this heel character last week?
You caught me by surprise. I didn't know.
Well, you did. You had enough time, but I'm wondering why when I'm like, talk trash to Kevin, you're like, nah. Now you win. You're like, Kevin who? I don't, doesn't ring a bell.
It's like that comedian thing when they're like, oh, you're a comedian, tell me a joke. And I'm like, now I can't.
I mean, the good news is when you are a comedian, you just have an act that you do. Here, you don't have to have an act. You could just literally say, oh, I like fight. And people go, yeah, okay, I like this guy. So it's not like you're at a huge disadvantage. Nobody's going to sit there and go, he needs a tighter 5. They basically will judge you. This is the best part about having a podcast. Most MMA podcasts and their listeners will judge you just by who you like. You don't even have to write analysis and be like, oh, you like that guy? Yeah, he's cool. I like him a lot. Por ejemplo,
Follow.
For the job that I'm doing right now, I went to go get a COVID test to get cleared. And the dude giving the COVID test tells me, he's like, oh man, nice shirt. And I am wearing my jiu-jitsu and then coffee shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, is he an MMA guy? Okay, what's up, man? Hey, yeah. And he goes, yeah, nice shirt, man. I train out this way. I train with this one guy, and he drops a name, and it's a pretty notable name out here in SoCal. And I go, oh my God, that's awesome, man. I was like, well, I got a podcast. He goes, no shit, man. what's the name of the podcast? I go, it's Verbal Tap. And he goes, I'm going to have to check that out. That's pretty dope. And I was like, dude, you're here to give me a COVID test. This is crazy that even my fucking doctor for this shit is, or my nurse for this is like, well, I like that you like jiu-jitsu. I run an MMA gym. I want to be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like,
We're friends now.
but you know what the worst part is? I saw that there was a little bit of a line behind me, and the guy was kind of like talking about this weekend's fights, and I go, oh, fuck. I really want to talk with this guy about the fights, but I also don't want to waste these poor people's time. And the guy goes, man, what about Nate, man? What about Nate Diaz? And I go, oh, no, don't. No, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do it. I have no choice. I'm gonna, and then I did it. So, no shame. Hashtag. If you're listening, Dr. Nurse Dude, welcome. I hope you like the show. If you didn't listen to it, I think this is a testament to how crazy it can be. So, yes, even when you least expect it, G Baby, always be ready. Always be closing. I'm going to end this by allowing you a little bit of time to just ask me whatever it is you want to ask, because I know there's something I'm missing this week, and I don't know what it is. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds. Figure out if you got a couple questions for me. Anything current, anything whatever you want to hear. I just figured, I was like, dude, the MMA world was overtaken by this weekend's fights. I don't remember if there was anything else that we didn't cover, but if we did, this is me covering my bases. G Baby, is there anything you want to ask me about topical MMA or jiu-jitsu? Go.
So, do you think Paulo Costa against Marvin Tori is going to happen?
That would be fun. I think that makes sense, right? Like, because these are two doofy guys.
Yeah.
That just don't have anything on their dance plate right now. And the
They're
fact that
they look like two nightclub douchebags too. That's the funny part.
it's essentially what would happen if the Night at the Roxbury brothers took steroids and had to fight each other. Yeah, no, I think what it is for those two dummies is that they just say really unfortunate statements that the rest of us go, Borchina department. Oh, you're too funny. Vittori, did you put your pants on the right way? Come on, guy. Let's do that. And you know what the dumb part is? We've all worn something dumb in our lives that we go, I put these on backwards. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've gone to important meetings where I go, my shirt is inside out.
Yeah.
And there is no way for me to fix this. So I'm just going to have to really commit to making it seem like this was a stylistic choice. I don't know. I would enjoy seeing that, because I think really what we're going to do is, if Izzy's cleared out a good portion of that division, we're going to see a lot more people getting return bouts, is the mentality I have. Especially when Izzy didn't make sense going up one weight class. They're probably going to try and keep him there, which only makes things worse for that division. For the interim, yeah. For the people in the division, it makes it worse. For the rest of us who are fans of what Izzy does, yeah, I'm not against it. It's fine.
Yeah, same.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, which is, what's coming up next for you, sir? Where can the people find you? What can they see you doing next? I know you got the podcast, but do you have any more competitions coming up? Do you have any special things coming up? Especially, I mean, you're going to Puerto Rico, so there could be a nice drop in for that. But tell us where the people can find you and what can they expect next from you, sir?
They can find me on Instagram at G_baby is not funny. Be
That's
sure
the
to
one.
check out.
That's the one I was going to bring up with you.
Yeah.
When are we going to change that?
I don't know. Do you want me to change it?
Don't do it just because I said to do it.
I feel like I'm forced to.
No. It's not a over-under Kevin bet. I just want to know, when did you decide to go G Baby is not funny? Because I understand the mentality of it, but I'm gonna respond to it. But I want to know, where did that come from?
To tell you the truth, I just didn't like all the people that I respect in the 10 planet system. They don't really have 10p in their names. So
Sure.
I was just like, I kind of want to be the person that they're like, hey, this guy's awesome. And then like, oh, he's a 10 planet guy. I don't want it to be like, oh, that's a 10 planet guy that does stand up.
Okay, but then why would
Yeah.
you say is not funny? Because I think you're funny.
Yeah, it's just to set the bar low so you can never disappoint, man.
All right. That's fair. Yeah. Okay. Because what I want to bring up to you is the same kind of inspirational nonsense that you enjoy, which is when you see your homie down talking themselves and they're like, "Hey, where can I find you at? G baby's not funny. You don't think you're funny? No, I'm
Yeah.
funny. It's just I really like those lowered expectations, fam.
Yeah, dude.
Why would I pay to go see that guy do comedy? Exactly.
Yep. And then boom, surprise, and then you're telling your friends.
And then surprise, this is me doing Dave Chappelle's best bits, but my version. Um, okay, so people can find you at G Baby is not funny. Sorry, G underscore baby is not funny.
Yeah, and then on Twitter and Facebook is at gbabiesnotfunny because it doesn't allow me to underscore it. And yeah, and you can find the shoot on YouTube, the shoot podcast, where I co-host it with Gabe Gambino, who's the lead singer of Manhigh, who is a fan of MMA and he's hilarious, and I'm trying to talk him into doing stand-up.
Okay, okay. You do know that this invites him to try and get you to do MMA though, right? Like this is where the weird, or you know what? He should have to like make you do sing and perform.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I'll do it.
Okay, okay. That's good enough to know.
Even and I'll do an MMA fight against Joshua Fabia if they let me.
Oh God, no.
I'm taller than him. I have the reach advantage. It's
I
not every day I have it.
no, I believe you. And okay, let me bring up three scenarios here. Scenario one: you beat Joshua Fabia, and
Yeah.
then you forever are going to be known as the guy who fought Joshua Fabia, and that's the only thing that people. When you die, that's going to be the thing that goes above your tombstone,
Yes.
too. You and Joshua Fabia actually don't end up fighting because of some nonsense that ends up making like the fight get canceled. And the time that they have to end up rebooking it, they go, "Why were we doing this in the first place?" And then they don't rebook it, so it wastes everybody time. The third one, if he beats you, I don't know that I can call you anymore. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the man has said that his deadly weapon is a stone cold stunner. And I feel like if you lost to that, it's not only losing credibility as a jiu-jitsu artist, a mixed martial artist, but then as a pro wrestling fan, that you weren't adequately prepared for a stone cold stunner. I think that would check all the boxes where I'd go, "Listen, G baby, this is my last note to you. You've been a great friend. You've served us well. Live a good life." And then like float away, like that sort of a
Yeah,
thing.
I would totally take advantage of the Mexican citizenship and never come back to it.
Well, that's perfect. Okay, well, listen. I hope that people go listen to you on the shoot. G Baby, you are nothing but a wonderful friend. We were so happy to have you come on last week. I'm sure in the future we'll find another time to rendezvous. I'm sure you'll be on another Fight Companion in the future. But I definitely wanted to bring you in for a silly game of over under Kevin. And I'm apologetic to the nth degree that Kevin wasn't able to come back. But I'm sure you will see him in the future. If not, at the very least, seeing a video of him saying how good the Shoot podcast is, which it is, just, it's like getting a 5-star review that you wrote yourself. So I guess that's
Damn
what I'm saying
right.
here. All right. G Baby, it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you back next time. That's all for
Thank
us
you
here
so
at Verbal
much.
Tap. Good night and good fight.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is